In today's episode of How to Not Get High with Cannabis, we're exploring how to find your minimum effective dose of THC. Would you be surprised to learn that the phytocannabinoid THC is almost identical to one of your body's own endocannabinoids called anandamide? In fact, anandamide has been nicknamed the bliss molecule. This means that if you don't have enough anandamide on your own to support your body, supplementing with THC to a certain point won't make you feel high. It will just meet that deficiency. So how do you find your minimum effective dose? Well, the first thing to keep in mind is that THC affects everyone differently. What works well for me may not work at all for you. Also keep in mind that your minimum effective dose can change dependent on your endocannabinoid tone each day. Endocannabinoid tone refers to the overall health of your endocannabinoid system, which is impacted not only by the amount of endocannabinoids that your body is producing, but also how quickly it's breaking those cannabinoids down and how many receptors you have available to receive them. Your endocannabinoid tone is impacted by many different things. It's impacted by your diet. Your body naturally produces its own endocannabinoids from a balanced ratio of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. It's impacted by our exercise. Exercise can boost endocannabinoid production. It's impacted by our stress levels. By staying in a chronic state of stress, our endocannabinoid system has a hard time keeping up with rebalancing our bodies. And as women, our endocannabinoid levels can fluctuate based on our menstrual cycle, as production is strongly linked to our estrogen levels. All of this means that your minimum effective dose may change from week to week, month to month, or even day to day, dependent on what your endocannabinoid tone is looking like. So when looking for your minimum effective dose of THC, you're going to want to always start low and go slow. Now, this is a great rule of thumb for any time that you're using cannabis, but especially important when you're looking for that minimum effective dose of THC without a high. You can always add more THC, so don't be in a hurry. Now, it's important to understand that cannabis has a biphasic dosing response curve. This means that increasing your dose will increase the effectiveness up to a certain point, but past this point, the effectiveness will actually start to decrease. This is also whenever unwanted side effects such as paranoia or short-term memory loss can start to occur. And if you're someone who sometimes enjoys getting high in the right setting, just be aware that consuming THC past this peak point can actually throw your endocannabinoid system out of balance because it sees so many cannabinoids that it may stop producing its own or even shut off your receptors, which can, in the long run, actually cause more harm than good. So how do you get started? Well, your starting dose is going to depend on the way that you're consuming your THC. When ingesting THC, you're going to want to start with between just 1 and 2.5 milligrams, dependent on your experience and comfortability. Because THC is intensified when eaten and can take several hours to take effect, it's important to be very careful when redosing. For the first few times that you try THC, wait at least 24 hours in between each dose, increasing your dose by 1 milligram each time until you reach the desired effects. Once you get comfortable with how THC affects you, you can slowly start to increase your dose by 1 milligram every 2 to 4 hours until you see your desired effects, allowing you to adapt your dose from day to day dependent on the support that your body is needing. Smoking and vaporizing THC is a little bit trickier because it's really hard to control the dose. However, our friend Emmett Chasen has a couple tips, including inhaling for no more than 2 seconds, immediately exhaling, and then waiting at least 10 minutes before inhaling again. Repeat this process until you reach your desired effects. Now remember that it's always important when experimenting with THC to be in a safe and supportive environment, just in case you do over-medicate. Finally, be sure to keep track of what medicine you're using, your dose, and how it's affecting you so that you can either recreate or avoid experiences in the future. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all seems really tedious, but unfortunately, the best things in life do take time. And if you think about it, really any medication works this way. You try it out, observe how it makes you feel, and then adjust accordingly. Just start low, take it slow, and you'll be using THC like a pro in no time. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to us at hello@hempsley.com. And if you're looking for more tips on how to not get high with cannabis, check out more from this video series that we're doing with Feel State dispensaries. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you next time.